Okay, so this is the final section of chapter 3. So, congratulations, you have reached the end. Although you might not be quite at the end yet, you're still finishing off some exercises, that's fine. By next Wednesday, your goal is to have chapter 3 finished. When we have class next week, I'll give you time to do the chapter 3 review. So, you don't need to start the review until next Wednesday. Just focus on finishing up to the end of 3i. Okay, so um, now for some notes and some teaching. So, a credit card is a way of purchasing when we do not have all the required cash available when making the purchase. So here's the basic idea. Let's imagine, um, I'm kind of a musician, so I'll use a music example. Let's say there was a really nice guitar that I wanted to buy, and the guitar cost $2,000, but I only have $1,500 of savings. What I could do is I could go to the bank and say, I really want the guitar now. I want it now so badly that I'm willing to pay interest. If you give me the $500 I need now, I will pay you back in the future. That's sort of the way a credit card works. So it's compound interest. When we deal with credit cards, we will assume that credit cards earn compound interest compounded daily. So when we come back next week, I'm going to run an activity where you will see the more often you compound with the same annual interest rate, the more money is earned. So if you compound daily, this is 365 times per year. So from the bank's point of view, they're going to make more money compared with if they compounded once a month or once a week. So there's a trade-off here. Maybe a guitar isn't the best example, but it's quite common in business. You don't have all the cash you need, so you might buy something on credit and you promise the bank that you will pay back the interest at a later time. But you get to buy the thing now and you can use it to make more money. Yes. Um, yeah, just go. I can't right now. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So one more thing. Usually what happens is credit cards often have an interest-free period. So during this time, the bank is not going to charge any interest. It might be the first 30 days. And then after that, then you start paying interest. And that's when your debt to the bank starts going up. All right, so just keep this in mind. And we'll do this with an example now. So here's the example. Let's say, okay, we'll just go with the guitar, right? So let's say a $2,000 guitar is purchased using a credit card. there is an interest-free period of 30 days. How much is owed after, let's say, 1 year? So we waited a whole year before we paying this off. So this is 365 days. If the interest rate on the card is 18%. Assume that it's always daily compounding, but I'll just write this here just so that it's very, very clear what's happening here. Okay, so here's the setup. $2,000 guitar, we're going to pay it back after 1 year, but we will pay interest every day after the first 30 days. And you should notice that this interest rate is quite high, 18%. So after 1 year, you're going to pay more than 18% of what you borrowed back. So this is how banks make money, and um, you have a price to pay when you buy stuff that you don't have the money for initially. You have a high interest rate. All right, so here's what we need to do. So we're going to just use a formula again. We don't have to worry about a recurrence relation. First, we need to figure out how many days we are paying interest for. So I'm going to say n is the number of days where interest is charged. And I hope you're seeing that n is not 365 because we have 30 days interest free. So we need to take 365 minus 30 to get n. Is that all right? 335 days of interest. Okay. What we're going to do now is we're going to increase this by 18 divided by 365%. So we will start with 2000 and we're going to multiply it by the growth factor to the power of 335. So every day where interest is charged, we're going to multiply by this number inside the brackets. It's 18%, but it's split over a daily rate. So in this case, if you think back to the formula with P, this time P equals 365. So I'm going to divide 18 by 365, and that's going to give me my daily interest rate. All right, so if you're happy with that, now all you need to do is grab a CAS calculator out and evaluate this. So I invite you to try it, and I'll do it too on the screen. In this question, I didn't tell you how much to round. When you sit your Year 12 exam next year, they don't tell you how much to round to the nearest cent, so to two decimal places. Okay. Um, we are finalizing the SAC and the outcome task. So I'll just double check that it's really clear what you need to do to round. If you're in doubt, just do two decimal places or the nearest cent. Okay. Any questions? All right, so we'll leave it there. That's actually it for the chapter. The book goes into some technicalities about account statements. Basically, during the statement period, they don't charge interest. So just treat that as an interest-free period. Okay. The rest of the time is yours to finish off the chapter 3 exercises, and please let me know if you need help with anything. Thank you.